everyone, and welcome to our webinar on Gymnastics Victoria's Inclusive Club Guidelines and the Inclusive Club app. My name is April and I'm the Inclusion and Programs Manager at Gymnastics Victoria. My role is to support our clubs to create safe and welcoming environments which are inclusive of all people in the community, including those from underrepresented groups. Underrepresented groups in our community may include people with a disability, older adults, the LGBTQI+ community, Indigenous Australians, and people from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds. In this webinar, we will explore the benefits of being an inclusive leader club. We'll explain what Gymnastics Victoria's Inclusive Club Guidelines are, and also introduce you to the Inclusive Club app, showing you how you can access and work towards completing the guidelines. But first, what is an inclusive club? Inclusive clubs are those which welcome and cater to people from all parts of the community, including those from underrepresented groups, such as those you see on the screen. Inclusive clubs will have the appropriate programming, policies, and procedures in place to support underrepresented groups and ensure that all members can participate to their full potential. Staff and volunteers in these clubs demonstrate inclusive practice and have attended inclusion awareness training. There are so many benefits of being an inclusive gymnastics club, both for our community clubs and also for our for-profit or business clubs. The first being more members, a larger membership base, which increases profit and also ensures the future sustainability of your club. You'll have more access to funding opportunities, a more inclusive community image and improved public relations, remembering that your local council, sponsors and government agencies all have an interest in encouraging people of all abilities and backgrounds to participate in sport. Increased promotional opportunities, increased opportunities for partnership and sponsorship, more access to awards and recognition programs, increased diversity of programs, and a positive club culture in which all staff, volunteers and participants feel welcome, safe and valued. There is also an enormous benefit to your workforce. Coaches and volunteers at inclusive clubs are shown to demonstrate higher loyalty and retention, a stronger work ethic, increased productivity, better staff collaboration and problem-solving skills, and improved health and well-being for themselves. Gymnastics Victoria's Inclusive Club Guidelines are a checklist which help you to assess how inclusive your club is. These guidelines are broken down into 7 categories: participants and programs, physical environment, attitudes and awareness, communications and marketing, local connections, policies and procedures, and advocacy. In each of the 7 categories, there is a number of criteria which help you to understand and meet the guideline. So for example, looking at the local connections guideline, a club should be aiming to address the following criteria: meet with inclusion representatives at least 4 times annually, seek opportunities to educate their local community about the benefits of gymnastics at least once per year, and have informal or formal partnerships with underrepresented groups in the local area. Gymnastics clubs who complete all of the Inclusive Club Guidelines are formally recognised by Gymnastics Victoria as inclusive leader clubs. For clubs to be able to complete these guidelines quickly and easily, they've been conveniently placed in an app which you can access and download for free. The Inclusive Club app is available for free for both Android and Apple users. In your app store, simply search for Gymnastics Victoria Inclusion. You will find an app there built by iTabalot, which is called Inclusion and which has the Gymnastics Victoria blue logo, such as you see on the right of the screen. Download the app and follow the prompts to select your club. A request will be sent through to Gymnastics Victoria, who will approve your registration. Now, multiple people can be registered to one club, which means that you can have several staff from your organisation working on the guidelines at one time. Alternatively, if you prefer to work on a desktop, you can find the guidelines at gv.itabalot.com. Once you're registered on the app, you'll be able to see the 7 guideline categories and select one to get started on. Let's have a look at that now. Okay, so here we are signed into the app. These are our 7 guideline categories. The status column at the right-hand side of the page indicates your progress with the guidelines. A red box indicates that you have not started working towards that guideline. The orange box indicates that you've started working on the guideline criteria, and the green box indicates that you have completed the guideline and there is no further work to be done. For the purpose of today's demonstration, we'll have a look at one of the incomplete guidelines and see what still needs to be done to complete it. So let's have a look at the Attitudes and Awareness guideline. So you can see from the status column here that this club has completed some of the criteria, shown in green, and not others, shown in red. So let's look at criteria number 1, which is the club has provided inclusion awareness training to all club coaches and personnel. When we click on the guideline, we're shown that it hasn't been started yet, and we're also given some helpful information here which guides us on how to meet the criteria. So in this example, our task is to explain when the inclusion awareness workshop was completed, as well as detail any additional staff training that might have been taken in regards to inclusion. Your club may have already done this, but if not, there's information under the resources heading here, which helps you to meet the criteria. When you're ready to complete the criteria, you select the Complete Guideline button at the bottom of your page. So here you're provided with a text box. Have a look underneath, where you can explain how you meet the criteria. Alternatively, there's also attachment buttons for photos or for documents, where you can add these as evidence. When you're done explaining how you meet the criteria, you click Submit. This sends an email to Gymnastics Victoria letting us know that you've submitted your criteria for approval. We'll review your response and either approve it or request that you provide some more detail or further evidence on how you meet the criteria. In conclusion, completing Gymnastics Victoria's Inclusive Club Guidelines is a quick and effective way to understand where your club is at in terms of providing an inclusive environment and any areas in which you can improve. Many clubs find that they already meet a number of criteria before they even start. However, you can expect completing the guidelines to take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months, particularly if you're implementing new procedures or policies. We encourage you to involve all staff and volunteers at your club in completing the guidelines to ensure that everyone is on the same page and to make the workload a little bit lighter. There is always assistance available to you in completing the guidelines. Simply contact the Gymnastics Victoria office.